we're so used to being stimulated that we don't often know how to just go and sit still and get centered. We could take a lesson from our sisters and brothers that are Buddhists to learn how to escape all of our own thoughts. And what was on the piece of paper that I had at the door was nothing but scriptures, so people could read the scriptures. Just read the scriptures. Now, we did have music going on the overhead, but it had scriptures on it. Scriptures, just taking in those scriptures. But I was a little amused. I had to smile because sometimes people would sit here for a while and I could tell they were getting uncomfortable. Like, why is everybody else just sitting here? Why isn't he saying anything? Why isn't anybody doing anything? And it wasn't until finally somebody came up and knelt and prayed and then took communion themselves and then got the ashes that other people were like, oh yeah, well now I know what to do, so I'll do it. And it's kind of funny, isn't it? And yet, I came away from that thinking, I don't often know how to just sit still without stimulus, some kind of stimulus around me to get me centered, to get my mind where it needs to be. Some of you do know how to do that. Rufus was telling me a while back about how he had been spending some time with God every morning. It becomes a habit. And if you break the habit, it's hard to get back into it sometimes, isn't it? But he said, I spend some quality time, just me and God, every morning. And I thought, that's the way it is. What if, instead of 40 days, I invite you to a fast for 40 minutes. 40 minutes. No TV, no computer, smartphones off so you can't even hear them. You can't hear them on the table vibrating. I mean completely off. No sounds, no people, closing your blinds so that you can't see out. You can't see who's passing by. Making sure that the dog has been fed and walked, because as soon as you sit down, they're going to want something. Every time I start working on a sermon, you know who comes and wants my attention? My dog. And I have to go do whatever she wants me to do before I can come back and get centered again. So it's better to go ahead. How many of us are willing, not 40 days, but even 40 minutes, to just sit still and center on all of the spazzing out we've done and the foaming of the mouth and the getting stiff as a board and our own issues, but letting all of that go and really getting centered on the one who can solve our problems, who can heal our bodies, our minds, our attitudes, the one who can fix everything and may choose to do it instantaneously during that 40 minutes. And I mean, just set your clock for 40 minutes later to see if you can, because I don't want you to be able to get up and look at the clock after 15 minutes and say, is it time yet? But you got to turn everything off. Everything. Shut the world out for 40 minutes. David asked, could he do it 1 minute for 40 hours? I said, well, you can, but I don't think that's going to really fix anything. Today, I want to invite you, and this is just what I heard the Spirit say to me this week. I want to invite you to a fast. 40-minute fast. No food, no TV, no computer, no phone, no animals, no company, no people, no world outside your window. 40 minutes. And I'm just going to invite you to that. Not a feast, a fast. A 40-minute fast. Would you pray with me? God, hear our hearts today. And as we sit here and even think, and some of us probably are even struggling thinking, where am I going to find 40 extra minutes this week? Where am I going to be able to get alone with you, God, and just be quiet before you? And yet, God, if I can think during that time back to this sermon and think that you said, Jesus said when he was walking the face of the earth, that this getting over attitudes or physical ailments or whatever is wrong in our lives, this only comes by prayer and fasting. So I'm going to shut out the rest of the world. I'm going to turn off my thoughts to other things. I'm not going to think about what I'm doing later or what I have to get done, but I'm going to spend 40 minutes just really concentrating on you with no other stimulus, just quiet before you, God, and allow you to minister to my heart, to minister to my soul, to minister to my mind, to minister to my body, to minister to all that I am, so that I may be white as a corpse when it's all over, but I'm willing to come up when you pick me up as something totally new. I ask these things in your name. Amen. My sisters and brothers, would you join me this week? Ain't it beautiful?
Everybody, can you stand and say, walking in the light, beautiful, beautiful light, ain't it wonderful?
I guess they decided a different song.
I'm walking in the light, walking in the light, beautiful light. One more time, will everybody say walking, walking in the light, beautiful light, very wonderful. I'm walking in the light, walking in the light, beautiful light.
Amen.